生命时空很随意，放心当下。Hey everybody, welcome to our Sutra lecture today. My name is Heng. Today is Saturday, February the 3rd, and I'm glad you're with us. We are going to be looking into the picture biography of Master Empty Cloud. So if that is what you've come to see and to hear, you're in the right place. So I'm going to open up our Dharma request, and I'm going to ring the bell 3 times and invite everybody to join me as well. Our Dharma requesters today will be Bui Tui from Hanoi and her son, Bakwin, at Dharma Buddhist University. So, mother and son requesting Dharma. Let's first make 3 half bows. I'll ring the bell. You're welcome to join. Here we go. All right, so Bui Tui and you and Bakwin, if you'd like to request Dharma, please do it now. Go ahead.
Thank you, Dharma Master.
Amitofo.
恭敬大德上敬，为师发挥记忆皆众生，经转妙法论教导我们如何疗伤，多是离苦得乐，殊证无上。
Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, return the wonderful Dharma will to teach us how to leave suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo sadanto suchedoye olahadi samyao sambuddhoshe.
Namo sarantua suchiroya alahari samyao samputusya.
无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered even in billions of eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. Okay, well, thank you so much. We have a mother and son Dharma request team. That's a first. That's pretty exciting. So Bui Tui from Hanoi, Vietnam, and her son Bakwin from Dharma Buddhist University in California. Pretty special. Thank you so much. Get our Dharma lesson, our Dharma experience on the road today. So we want to acknowledge country, and I will move ahead to the Bay Area, since this lecture used to not originate in Berkeley, where the Chocechno Ohlone people were the first storytellers and custodians of the land. So let's give them some attention here. We'd like to acknowledge the Chochenyo Ohlone people who practice their spiritual connections to the earth and to all creation, on their ancestral land for tens of thousands of years. We acknowledge them today as traditional custodians and original storytellers of the land. We offer our respects to their elders past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded. 就说乌罗内的人在他们祖先的土地上修炼着他们与土地和万物的精神联系数万年。今天承认他们是这些土地的传统监护人和原始讲故事的人，并且向他们过去、现在和未来的先进的长老们致敬，以及主权从未被割让，所有第一民族人民们表示敬意。Further, we would like to bow towards tradition and sing the bell song. Bells sound wide, resound throughout 100 million worlds. The Buddha's law is heard and spread all throughout the triple world. The wondrous sounds that everywhere fill the Dharma realm with peace. May those who hear it gain the strength to follow in faith the Buddha's path. 众生传3000劫内，佛法扬万亿国中，共训其法界和平，利益报他诺后德。Okay, there we go. That's our ritual beginning. And I wanted to welcome everyone who is here currently. There are 80 some of us online here. I'm here in the Gold Coast of Australia. Our co-host is in Ukiah, California, Northern California. Our Dharma requester as well was there in Ukiah. His mom, Witui, was in Hanoi, Vietnam. Just that, the fact that we can triangulate from Northern California to Hanoi, that's to down here to the Gold Coast. That's pretty remarkable. That'll never get old or boring to have that ability to talk to the whole planet all at once. Just great. Let's see here. Our co-host Iwan is also in Ukiah. Our translator, our hard-working translator, is right here beside us here at Gold Coast Dharma Realm. Furthermore, we have a co-host who is currently in内蒙古. Is that unbelievable or not, that our co-host is in Australia and Mongolia at once? Wonderful. Okay, we also have friends here from Vancouver, BC, from Cascade, Colorado, from Campbell, California, listening to stories and passing those stories on. Hong Kong, Sunnyvale, Saratoga, Montreal, Alameda, Berkeley, Los Altos, Jakarta, Round Rock, Texas. Let's see here. Gold Coast, recovering from COVID. Okay. Waterloo, Ontario. Let's see here. Kansas, Liaoning, the Bay Area, San Jose, Mesa, Arizona, Calgary, Alberta, Santa Clara, Tennessee. All right, Sarah, welcome. Good stuff. Seattle, Singapore, Oklahoma, San Jose, Vancouver, 台北这个礼拜都有台北的朋友参加了，非常欢迎。Okay, many friends from Taipei. 北京哈尔滨、杭州，好的，还有什么地方？深圳呢？悉尼、北京、辽宁，宝鸡，from 浙江。Okay, 陕西宝鸡。Okay, let's see here, 朝阳。还有呢，黑龙江。Okay, 泉州、福建、山东、淮南市、北京，河北唐山、北京、 江苏镇江 OK， 今天的故事就在镇江，江苏镇江。OK， 王先生，你在一个好地方，为听今天的故事。OK， 包头，深圳，浙江、南京、北京、南京，好像观众就越来越多，欢迎大家了。OK， 上海，还有杭州。Okay, excellent, great. So many friends, and I mentioned as we went through, one of our attendees of Mr. Wang today is exactly in the place where our story is located, where Master Empty Cloud was. We are looking through the picture biography of Master Empty Cloud. And let me give you a little bit of background. He is doing now what's called Canfang, which is traveling, looking for teachers and for teachings. Because when monks and nuns leave home, excuse me, they don't have a fixed residence. Monks and nuns are eternally homeless. They're the original homeless. That is to say, don't put down the roots that householders do. They have chu jia, they have come forth from the householder's life and joined another family, the family of the Buddha. And it's very much a family. The Buddha Sangha is the longest running community of monastics on the planet, 2,500 years of a straight line to the present day. So the monks and nuns who you see have not changed substantially in their lifestyles, in their requirements, in their expectations, in their habits from their counterparts 2.5 millennia ago. That in itself is just remarkable. If it weren't for the other incredible virtues of the left home life. So here we have Master Empty Cloud, who was, at this time, we can see here he's 41 years old. The date was 1880. And he had now been a monk for 20 years. And you could say his goal of leaving home had, he'd done a lot. He was a hermit, he was an ascetic, he was a yogi, he was a recluse in the mountains where he talked to tigers and wolves and didn't talk to people. And then he completely turned away from that life and he came down and served a community. He was the gardener, he was the garbage man, he was the cook, he was the server. He did all of the difficult, hard work of serving a community. And then at a certain point, he said, I need to know Dharma. I need to get some instruction in the words the Buddha taught. I can do the practices the Buddha practiced because we know the Buddha himself lived for 6 years out in the mountains, living an ascetic life. So Empty Cloud could do that, but somebody came and said, teach me what you know, and he's like, I don't know anything. So he kind of felt ashamed that he hadn't acquired any Dharma knowledge. At that point, came back down and started to Canbang, to seek out the Dharma, seek out teachers. Last week, what was our story last week? We heard about Tianning Si. He came down to listen to the Dharma at Changzhou Tianning Si. Then he met a true Shanzhishi, Master Da Shui, at Jiaoshan. And so he heard the Dharma there, and he noticed that there was a general, somebody who was a leader in the community, who made himself a disciple of this elder monk called Da Shui Fa Shi, Da Shui He. So here's, you don't get to, how many times do you get to hang out with the general from the army? Well, when it comes to listening to Dharma, we are all future Buddhas, currently students of the Buddha. So here's the person sitting right next to you is a military general. And the person over here could be somebody who just came out of the mountains, who basically has sticks and leaves in their hair. But they're equally there for the purpose of learning the Dharma. I might add, we're just talking about the people you can see. If it's a true Shan Zhishi, good and wise advisor, invisibly in that same room, there will be gods, dragons, demon kings, potentially King Yama, the god of the underworld, invisibly will also be there, drawing near to learn the Dharma. So we whose eyes only see the light of a certain wavelength, what do we see? What is it? We see a little bit of infrared, a little bit of ultraviolet, and then the visible light spectrum. But cats and dogs even can see different radiance, different spectrum lengths. They can see different light. So we shouldn't assume that because our vision is so limited, that's all there is. There's many, many other beings around the Buddha Dharma. So I know that people come to monasteries and they say, boy, that place, it feels different there. There's something kind of special about that place. Yeah, you can bet there is. If it's the right Dharma, there will be other beings that you can't see, but they're right there beside you and maybe above you. Right there. Okay, so he is now age 41, Canfang. He's traveling around. He has come to Jinshan Jiangtian Chansi. Ready? Here we go. We don't have to 不必合掌. 寄俗称金山寺，乃禅宗门庭，龙象汇聚，名言高僧，代步法人。唐朝有法海和尚着席，宋有佛印禅师于东坡论义，颇柏树玉带，至今尚存寺中。共寺11岁来此，亲近观心和尚，心灵大定等上座。Okay. Commonly called Gold Mountain, this monastery is known as the headquarters of the Chan sect. Typo here. Noble monks assembled here. Throughout the ages, there has never been a lack of discerning, eminent Sangha members. In the Tang Dynasty, the abbot was Venerable Master Fa Hai, Dharma Ocean. Chan Master Fo Yin, Buddha Seal of the Song Dynasty, defeated Su Dongpo here in debates, and the jade belt, which the latter forfeited, remains at the monastery to this day. When Master Yun was 41, he arrived here to personally meet Venerable Master Guanxin, contemplating mind, Xinlin, New Grove, and Da Ding, Great Samadhi, among other senior seated bhikshus. Famous monastery, Jinshan Si. Now, this was indeed the model for the monastery that I first approached in San Francisco, Jinshan Sheng Si, Jiujinshan Jinshan Si. This one is Zhenjiang, is Jinshan Jiangtian Chan Si. Okay, here is a picture. Look at the illustration. It's really great. Jinshan Si is on an island. Notice here's a little boat way down here in the corner. It's a famous, famous monastery. Began in the 4th century. Oh man. Let's see here. Okay. It's one of the, as it says here, one of the founding monasteries of the Chan school. So people would go to Jinshan Si when the word went out that there was a Chan session. Oh, this was one of those places where you did not want to miss. If when you heard that Jinshan Si was doing a Chan, oh boy, you better get there. One of the phrases of Gold Mountain Monastery was 金山的腿子，高敏香，海潮寺的李腊枪. This is, Shifu would tell us this verse. The legs of Gold Mountain, the incense of Gao Min. The noise at Hai Ming, Hai Chao Si is just like a chatterbox. That's the phrase. 金山的腿子，高敏香，海潮音，海潮寺，是李腊枪. So the story was that at Jiangtian Monastery at Gold Mountain, you weren't allowed to drop your legs. When you, so I can't show you here, but there is one of the biggest issues for Chan meditators is how long do you sit? Because here at Gold Mountain, the practice was you have to sit in full lotus. You do, sit in full lotus. If you drop your legs, somebody comes around behind you with an incense board, a xiangbang, and whack, gives you a whack. You have to put your legs back up. And of course, full lotus is a challenge for everybody. It always has been. And at a certain point, your legs just start to ache because the circulation is moving in a different way. And so the big deal is who is minding the clock. If you're sitting there and suppose the hour is you're sitting for an hour. That's the amount of time of the sit. Well, you're at about halfway, or maybe even 10 minutes into the sit, you start to get pain in your legs. And you have to endure it. You have to wait and learn patience while your inner circulation readjusts. So the pressure is on the person who's ringing the bell. And of course, the people meditating are thinking, oh, maybe he's fallen asleep. I should look. Don't look. Oh, but maybe I need to tap the bench and wake him up. Don't do that. Just be patient. That's called running outside, 向外持久. And the pressure is building up and you're false thinking. And what do? You look, and right at that moment, oh, if only you could have waited 30 seconds longer, you could have made it. Oh, but you could. Dropped your legs. Oh, so big deal. And I remember there was, I recently saw a film about Chan meditators in the Chinese Chan Hall. And the big deal about Jinshan Monastery was how you prevented your legs from dropping. And what did you do? First thing, of course, you take your shoes off. Then monks wear these high top socks called wazi. And the wazi have elastic around the top. They're kind of like boot socks, sort of. And so you drop the elastic down so there's not pressing on your leg. Then you put your right foot on your left thigh. You put your left foot on your right thigh. Then you take your robe, your monk's robe, and wrap it around, tightly around your legs. Then you take the blanket that's underneath your entire seat and you wrap it up tight. So there's a double layer of cloth keeping your legs in full lotus. And of course, if you're going to shift your legs, there's a noise, right? That everybody looks at, oh, I heard that noise. So-and-so dropped their legs. Oh, whack! Oh. So it's a big premium on being tough, being like a tough Marine in the Chan Hall and sitting without dropping your legs. Big deal. Anybody who, I know, let's see, did I see Bill on the call? Bill is on the call. He will remember the Chan Hall at Gold Mountain. Master Hua would walk down the aisle and he would say, we're going to nail your legs in full lotus. We'll just take a hammer and nail them in place so you don't have to worry about dropping your legs. He said, you would be better off dying than dropping your legs, because if you drop your legs, you're never going to be a Buddha. But if you make a vow that you'd rather die than drop your legs, that just might be the resolve that takes you all the way to Buddhahood, he would say. Doesn't matter. If you do die, we'll just throw you behind the bench and thaw you out in the spring, because it's so cold here, you'll be frozen anyway. It doesn't matter. So that was the energy that Master Hua would bring into the Chan Hall to encourage us to keep our legs in full lotus, because from the point of view of traditional Chan, that is the way that you really break through the black lacquer barrel. So here's the verse. By the way, did you see Master Empty Cloud up there on the mountaintop, up there on the rock, right, above Gold Mountain? There it is. Here's the verse. 金山钟灵引高僧，禅宗棒喝立家风。念佛是水，水是念，黑气捅破出樊笼。Jinshan's special atmosphere sheltered eminent sanghas. The Chan school's staff and the shouts created its reputation. Who is mindful of the Buddha? Who is reciting now? When the black energy barrel bursts apart, you go free from your cage. So that's the idea. The Chan energy in the Chan school is really no joke, because there are people who might be they might have made a vow to not leave the Chan Hall for a year. And what that means is probably for 2 hours on a Sunday afternoon, they come out to do some laundry, to change their shoes, and go right back in. Otherwise, 24/7, they sleep in the Chan Hall, they eat in the Chan Hall, and of course, they meditate around the clock. And if you're there, it's not easy to get into the Chan Hall. You just might not qualify. So these are folks, what are they doing? They're dedicated to their Hua Tou, Nian Fo Shi Shui. Who is mindful of the Buddha? Well, who is asking, right? This is Shifu's verse here, gives a flavor of it. The Banghe, the Banghe is the staff that you whack the people struggling with full lotus, and the shouts. There was lots of Qi. At the beginning of the session, everybody rise up your energy. Qi. Li Jia Feng. That's the style of the Chan school at Gold Mountain. I was there not long ago to see the new Chan Hall. The Cultural Revolution was very tough on Gold Mountain, mostly destroyed it. And so that gave an opportunity for the local Buddhists in Jiangsu province to rebuild the Chan Hall. And they built it round. It's really quite innovative. And the monks are inside, and the laity meditate on the next layer outside. And then they have different ways for nuns and lay women to have their own dedicated Chan space. Quite wonderful. And there's another aspect. Now, I want to share something. There's another aspect of the Gold Mountain Monastery, which is the cultural aspect. And what I mean by that is Gold Mountain has a reputation, since it's been there since the 4th century. Gold Mountain has this amazing reputation of a place where you go when you want to encounter Buddhist energy in the culture. So what am I talking about? Bai She Zhuan, Legend of the White Snake. Bai She Zhuan. I've got a Wikipedia page up here. This is one of China's 4 great folk tales. The others being Lady Mengjiang, the Butterfly Lovers, the Cowherd and the Weaver, and Bai She Zhuan. Now, Bai She Zhuan, here's a wonderful image. So you can see it here. The story, this is a legend. It is a folk tale, but they tell it in China as if it were more than a folk tale, and it centers around Gold Mountain Monastery. When I was a graduate student in Chinese literature at Berkeley, this Bai She Zhuan was one of the first pieces of Chinese literature that I tackled and did research on. So I had no idea that in the future I would actually travel to Jinshansi. But the story is a fascinating story, just to give you a flavor of it. It's a legendary story about 2 young women. One is a lady in white and the other is a lady in green. And they encounter a kind-hearted scholar whose name is Xu Xian. And he, in the rain, offers them an umbrella, these 2 ladies. And one thing leads to another, and they get married. They fall in love instantly and get married. They travel to Gold Mountain Monastery, where the monk whose name is Fa Hai Fa Shi, this is he right here, tells the scholar, Mr. Xu, you know what? You married a white snake. She's actually a snake. And scholar Xu, at that encounter, at that truth, when he finds out, he dies of shock, because he can actually, the monk Fahai gives the woman a drink, and the drink that she drinks reveals her true identity. She drinks Xiong Huang Jiu. She drinks Xiong Huang Jiu, and it reveals her true identity. So he dies of shock. She travels out to Kunlun to find a magical herb guarded by Beiji Laoren. She brings the magical herb back, and her husband, Xu Xian, is restored to life. He comes back to life. He comes back to life, but he's still afraid of his wife. And the scene returns to Jinshansi, and the monk Fahai, who in the original story is a villain. He's not a good guy. He's not compassionate. He thinks that the woman is only a demon. So he traps the husband and says, I will save you. Don't leave Jinshansi. You have to stay here. So the 2 young women, Bai Shuzhen and Xiaoqing, fight with the monk to rescue the kind-hearted scholar husband. And Fahai calls on Weito Pusa and Xielan Pusa to help him. But the woman, the white snake, Bai Shuzhen, uses her powers to flood the temple, causes lots of damage. And she is pregnant with his child, so she doesn't save the husband, but the green snake, who is very kind-hearted, helps her escape back to Hangzhou. And at this point, the scholar realizes that his wife has genuine love for him, and he doesn't care if she's a snake or not. No! So he escapes. He gets a young monk to help him escape Gold Mountain. And they meet on Broken Bridge, where they first met back when. And so Xu Xian says he's sorry, and they're both forgiven, and there is a happy reunion. The son is born, Xu Mengjiao, and the monk returns, the nasty, evil Fahai Fashi, and defeats the wife, imprisons her under Lei Feng Ta, Lei Feng Pagoda, Thunder Sound Pagoda. And the green snake runs away, vowing vengeance. It is not a happy ending. Here is a typical scene from Bai Shi Zhuan. Now, this story You can see it is a Chinese opera, and it has been played and replayed over and over. The battle between the monk and the white snake and her helper, green snake, Qing Qing, Xiao Qing. And here she is. And there's the poor scholar who is just a loser from start to finish. Poor guy, can't make up his mind. And it's a famous, famous story in Chinese folklore. Here is the snake in her real form. And it's funny how in the folklore, the monk is the bad guy. She is true, even though she's tragically imprisoned in this snake's body, her heart is true. So this is a favorite story in Chinese folklore, centered around Gold Mountain Monastery. And I went looking in the Chinese resources and discovered that there have been 40, count them, 40 movies made around Bai Shi Zhuan. The first one is 1927. The most recent one is 2021. So to this day, this story about the white snake has been a favorite in Chinese culture. And it has gone through, in the centuries since it's been made into movies, it's been made into opera and plays dozens and dozens of times. It is a genuine favorite. And there are scholars who will tell you that the snake and the scholar story and the snake fighting sacred people like the monk is all the way back to India. This has been a perennial folklore theme in both Indian and Chinese culture. So when you go to Gold Mountain Monastery, understand that the name Jinshan Si has been borrowed by storytellers down through the centuries, because it's known as a place where lots of transformations can happen. Starting from the Chan Hall, ordinary people can become sages in the Chan Hall. It's called a Xuan Fo Qiang, Tiao Fo Qiang. It's a place where Buddhas are selected. But that kind of transformation goes down into culture, and it becomes snakes becoming beautiful women, becoming wives, becoming mothers, and all of the confusion that can happen around those issues. All right, moving on now, where? To Gao Min Si. Gao Min Si. Let's take a look. Master Empty Cloud is still Sanfang, going to Gao Min Si. Jin Shan de Tui Zi Gao Min Xiang. Okay, ready? San Cha He Gao Min Si, Zhuan Xiu Chan Na Dao Chang, Zong Men Zuo Jia, Duo Cong Ci Ye Chu, Gui Ju Sen Yan, Long Pan Hu Wo, Sui Zhu Hai Zhong Shu Bai, 而不问少许造杂声，寻味清净懒弱，心似岁，公来当参学，李郎回和尚，精修静虑，功夫相应。At Gaomin Monastery of Bodhimanda near Sancha, Three Creeks River, monks practice Chan meditation exclusively. This foundry created many experts in Chan. They adhered strictly to the regulations, so dragons coil up and tigers lie down. Although the vast assembly numbered several hundred, not the slightest sound was heard. It was a pure aranya in every respect. In the year 1881, the master came here to participate and bowed to the Venerable Master Lang Hui, dazzling brilliance. Because he vigorously cultivated stillness and contemplation, he made progress, and his skill increased. So we heard Jin Shan de Tui, the Gao Min Xiang. What is it about the incense of Gao Min? It was longer, they say. So if you're there meditating and your knees start to hurt and you think, I can make it for half an hour. Oh, I can make it for 45 minutes. I can make it for an hour. Guess what? Gao Min Monastery, 90-minute incense, hour and a half. Oh, how can you sit another half hour? Your legs are going to break. They're going to hate you forever. Oh, my goodness. So here's the picture. Look at the multitude of monks going chi in the Chan Hall. Oh, my goodness. There it is. Now, I want to point out what is happening outside Gaomin Monastery. Gaomin Si is located on the Grand Canal, Dayunhong. In China, one of the real innovations that I forget which emperor it was, but there was inland waterways in China dug by the emperors so that cargo and passengers could travel inland by boat, called the Grand Canal. And I didn't do any statistics here, so I can't give you the facts, but the Grand Canal worked for centuries and centuries as a very efficient way to get both cargo and passengers inland in China. It's directly beside Gaomin Si. So during meditation breaks at Gaomin Si, you can go out of the Chan Hall to catch your breath, look at the stars at night, and you can see the ships going up and down the Grand Canal, right beside the Chan Hall. So here are the monks. And in the center, the way the Chan Halls are built, I've seen the Chan Hall at Gaomin Si. By the way, the place where Master Empty Cloud got enlightened. Not this visit, a later visit. After his 3 Steps, 1 Bow pilgrimage, he came back. But Gaomin Monastery was, along with Gold Mountain, where we just mentioned, and also with Tianning Monastery, where he was previously. These are the places where serious meditators would want to go. And the story went, you would get a notice that Gaomin Si is holding a Chanqi, and the word would go out to all the smaller monasteries, all of the lay societies, even in the marketplace, you would see a poster, and they would say, give you a date and give you the registration time when it was cut off, and mention if there were any famous monks who were going to be there to help administer. And boy, the word would go out, and you would see, they're called Chan Hezi. You'd see these old meditators, Lao Mu Gua, all the old meditators would start to show up. And they would be carrying their baggage on a stick, and they would show up, and the zhike, the guest prefect, would say, let me see your refuge certificate. Where did you take refuge? Where did you ordain? Let me see your jiedie. And you'd pull out your credentials as a monk, and if you were legit, if you had ordained and your teacher was known, you're in. That's it. They would take you. And they would say, Yun Lai Ji, the monks would gather like clouds. So many monks coming. And what they were looking for was a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, even up to 10 weeks of living in the Chan Hall with a single mind, looking into your Huatou, Can Huatou, Yixin Nian. Who is mindful of the Buddha? Who's dragging this corpse around? What was your face before your parents gave birth to you? Right? Fundamental Huatus that people would ask. And they would do that, and sometimes you could be preparing for the rest of the year. 50, let's say it was a 3-week Chan. That's City of 10,000 Buddhas pretty much does 21-day Chans, the way Gold Mountain did. And so you could spend 11 months administering a monastery, keeping the place running, keeping the ceremonies going, keeping the incense lit in the censer, because you were waiting for that last month when you could go to Gaomin Si or Jinshan Si or Tianning Si to Da Zuo Canchan, to put an end to birth and death. This is the place where all your previous work comes to fruition. So that's monks would really, really wait. Oh, so exciting to get a chance to test yourself against your own mind and see if you were ready, if your Dao Ye Chengjiu, your work in the way, came to fruition. Do so Jing Shen Hao Tu Tuo, Bu She Zhou Ye Yan Mo He, Bo Re Tang Zhong Guan Zi Zai, Xuan Fo Chang Li Kan A Shui. Rousing your essential energies refers to ascetic practices. Vigorous by day and night exemplifies the Mahayana spirit. Within the Prajna Wisdom Hall, contemplate self-mastery. See who can be successful on the Buddha choosing ground. Okay, what I want to point to here is this is Chan meditation, the way it was designed in China. This is the Chan school at its most essential, at its most pure. Now, this afternoon, I will be sitting in front of a group of meditators, trying to share something of value for the meditators. The question is, what do people think they're coming for when they come to meditate? I'll show you. Let's take a look here. New York Times, today's New York Times, 2024. Check it out. Medical meditation, clinical yoga, alternative therapies go mainstream. More than 1/3 of American adults now supplement or substitute mainstream medical care with treatments long considered alternative, such as meditation. Who's writing this? Matt Richtel. Matt is in the Bay Area. He's been to the monastery. Matt is a serious journalist looking into yoga, acupuncture, meditation, which is now being practiced by 1/3 of Americans. We're in Australia, but Matt is writing about California in the US. 1/3 of American adults now add or substitute mainstream medical care. That means pills and, drugs with acupuncture, meditation, yoga, and other therapies that have long been considered out the door somewhere. In 2022, 37% of pain patients used non-traditional medical care, which rose from 19%, nearly doubled since in 20 years, according to research published by the Journal of American Medical Association. That's mainstream, number one, medical, that's the bona fides, that's the real stuff. The change has been propelled by what? Insurance reimbursements. So if you can say, yes, I took a meditation class, you can get it written off your insurance, right? It has become part of the culture of the US, said the main author of the paper and an epidemiologist at the National Institute of Health. He says, we're talking about the use for general wellness, stress management, sleep, energy, and immune system, and for pain. Using yoga for pain management has doubled, okay? So medical doctors are getting the benefits as well. chief of pain medicine at Stanford Medical, says growing number of studies validate alternative therapies so that even traditional clinics like Stanford use mind-body therapies and non-drug tools. So this idea has grown among younger people in particular, whereas early generations may have seen these treatments as way too far. Our patients, grandparents would look at them and go, "What? Are you kidding me? You're meditating? What?" Right? So he says they don't always get relief, but do it for a trial. He says, try it. The article in the Journal of American Medical Association drew the data from 2002, 2012, 2022, which is a survey. It says, acupuncture, chiropractic, guided imagery, massage, meditation, naturopathy, yoga are all being used. So I bring that up because why? Look at what Master Empty Cloud in 1881 thought he was doing when he was meditating. He wanted to become a Buddha. In 2024, people are getting closer and closer to being able to meditate. Are they doing it for the same reasons? No. Will they in the future? Yes. Slowly, step by step. 20 years ago, I had to sometimes apologize to say I was teaching meditation. Now people go, "Oh yeah, is it mindfulness or what are you teaching?" Right? Yeah. So take a look here. You ready for Gaomin Si? Here's Gaomin Si. A few years ago. There it is. This is in fact the monastery where Master Empty Cloud got enlightened. I've walked up to the top of that pagoda and looked out at the Grand Canal, Dayunhe. Here we are, right? Xuan Fo Dao Chang. This is the place where Buddhas are selected. Now, mind you, this was destroyed as well, but it's rebuilt on the same foundations, and it is returned. Gaomin Si, this is the Chan Hall at night, right? This is you see the monks walking? Chi. They're not wearing their sashes. When you sit in Chan, you don't wear a sash. But here it is. This is the real thing. This is the place. To get a chance to see it, I think, is very cool. Visible from the Grand Canal. Puti, Xieji Puti, when the mad mind stops, just that is Bodhi. And this picture I like a lot. This is the schedule for the Chan Hall. Okay, we get up at 4:30 in the morning, go all the way through to 10:30 at night. And let's see here, Qixang 5, so 5:10, let's see here, Zhijing 5, so that's half an hour. The first one in the morning is half an hour. 6:50, Zhijing, so 50-minute sits. 50-minute sits. Then 8:40 to 9:10, Kaijing, Chudianxin, Zhijing. Yeah, so the sits are different lengths during the day. I believe there's a 2-hour sit in there somewhere in the evening, maybe. You sit for 2 hours. So, Yangzhou, Gaomin Chansi, Chanqi, here's the schedule for Gaomin Monastery. And we know it brings results because this is where Master Empty Cloud got enlightened. And it's a great story. Well, but it's not this visit. It's an earlier visit. Okay. So here we go. Our fearless corresponding secretary says, last semester, for the first time, our university announced an award encouraging faculty to integrate mindfulness practices in the classroom. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So what are some of the challenges? We here in Australia have, in all different levels, from elementary on up through high school, various initiatives encouraging faculty, encouraging the classroom teachers to give the students a 5-minute meditation, or they call it mind up exercises, or a 10-minute, once a day, twice a day. And we have some of our parents in our meditation class report that their kids come back and say, we have mind up on the schedule, but Mrs. Johnson doesn't do it. She says, well, I let the kids meditate if they want to. She doesn't do it. The reason being, there are still other voices in the West that say, we don't want our kids brainwashed by this poisonous devil worship. Assuming that meditation and yoga mean that you're no longer Christian. There are some voices who oppose for that reason. Not all, and that is not mainstream. The fact that Buddhists are famous for meditation does not equate to, therefore, meditation is Buddhist. In fact, the most successful integration of meditation into the classroom was sponsored by a Catholic Benedictine monk, Father Lawrence Freeman. His initiative was picked up by local Australian Roman Catholics who were so positive and so much in favor of meditation that they encouraged local school boards to allow Christian contemplation, but they did it righteously without naming it, without claiming it, making it exclusive. So meditation truly has gone mainstream. In the picture here on the front, my desktop, this individual right here, you can see my green cursor. This is Wang Taisheng, the maker of the Guanyin image that you're seeing behind you. This is his family. That's his wife is here and his kids. This is before the Guanyin, the 1,000-hand Guanyin was gilded. Notice it's not gilded yet. This is me right there, standing next to Bhikshu Hong Kong. Bhikshu Hong Guan is down here. Li Eagleson, Fa Guang Fa Shi Dharma Jyoti, who is now at Chinese University of Hong Kong, is right here. So this is Tim Testu, the 3 Steps One Bow, first monk. So this was 1967, and our Guanyin image had not yet been gilded. A bit of Gold Mountain Monastery, America history. Alrighty, there we go. Now, in honor of one of our fearless translators, who is currently struggling with COVID, and all those like him and others in Australia for whom COVID has not gone away, let's dedicate merit with Medicine Buddha's mantra. like to remind everybody that here in the Gold Coast, that Friday, that is to say 1 week from today, from yesterday, at 7 p.m. there will be a Medicine Buddha blessing ceremony and a candle lighting ceremony, followed by a program of entertainment at 7:45, followed by the next day, Saturday, Medicine Buddha repentance and the transference of merit. So a great way to get the Year of the Dragon started off on a good foot. All right. Thank you all for joining. Glad you're with us, and we'll be back next week for more of the incredible stories of Master Empty Cloud as he looks for the Dharma and for liberation in China back in the 19th century. And gratitude to all the volunteers who make this lecture possible in Chinese and English. Here we go. 3 bows to the Buddha. Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. All righty. Happy New Year coming up, everybody. Amitofo. Bye now.